How are we doing today? I know you can do much better than that. I know you can do much better than that. How are we doing? All right, you look so beautiful out there. I'm so happy to be here. And we're not going to work out today, okay? We're not going to work out, but I'm going to rest these down. And I want to talk to you today about as we grow up. It's based on a book that I'm working on, should be coming out in 2020. And the question it asks is, do we gain or do we lose as we grow up? Do we gain more of what we should know to help us to become resilient, to help us to become strong, to help us to become tenacious, to help us to become the fighters in life that we ought to be so we can overcome setbacks and use setbacks as setups? Or is it the opposite? Does society force us to hide underneath the rock? Does society force us or pressure us based on the peer pressures that we go through to become someone else instead of the person that we dream to become? And so it asks us, as we grow up, do we gain more of who we're supposed to be, or do we lose what we need to be successful in life? I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Jamaica, by way of Canada. Amazingly, I have 2 American children. My wife is from Nassau, Bahamas. So basically, when you look at the Guy family, we are called born Jamaicans. Does that make sense, right? So I'm born in Jamaica, have 2 sons from America, and my wife is from Bahamas. So we are, guess, multicultural as we get. My story didn't just begin there. My story began when I was 6 years old and I was left on the island of Jamaica. And when I was left there, I was about 6 years old. My mom left, saying she was going to Canada because, like most typical parents coming from the Caribbean, she wanted to do something grand. She wanted to do something amazing for her children. By the way, she only had a 9th grade education. We were what you call poor. Poor is a word that I want you to subtract the 2 O's. You just couldn't get it out. Poor. We struggled. And so her destiny was to get to Canada so she can make a better life for us. And as the topic of my talk, as we grew up, as I grew up, I experienced child abuse because I was going from foster homes to foster homes. I couldn't read at age 14. I struggled. I went through a period of depression. Didn't know who I was. Didn't have a right self-identity. I couldn't identify with who I'm supposed to be. And then I started thinking, as I grow up, am I growing up to become the person I should be, or what society or the pressures that are caving in on me, is it dictating what I should be? It was a lonely journey. I want you to imagine this. Your parents tuck you in. You're 6 years old. And you wake up in the morning and they're not there. You used to get up, jump in mommy's bed, jump in daddy's bed. Hey, time for breakfast. And they say, go away. Almost like Lion King, Mufasa, Simba. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Couldn't even get the roar out. Get out there in the Pride Land and do something. There was no Simba there. There was no Mufasa there, parent-wise. They were both gone. And so I spent 12 years without my parents being there. And as I travel from home to home, I experienced some of the most excruciating pain that any young man can ever go through. In my race, we know slavery is an issue. Many of us are still holding on to the pain, the hurt of slavery. We haven't let it go yet, even though we are free people, but we are still trapped in our minds. And so we become what society said we should become. We should hate those people. If they're not like me, then they are against me. As we grow up, society tells us we should hate the other person that doesn't look like us. And while I was growing up, I felt the same way. I felt the same pain. I felt the same hurt. Why are they doing this to me? Can't you feel what I'm feeling? I'm not Jesus Christ, but I felt the stripes on my back. Sometimes I feel like I was on a cross. And I'll tell you this. As I transitioned through life, I survived. And in 1988, it was a sunny Sunday on October 30th. Alma showed up. She had tickets for all of her 6 children to come to Canada. It was the happiest day of our lives. You ever see someone that cries and smile at the same time? You can't decide what to do. That was me. Matter of fact, we ate so much peanuts on the plane. Wow. When we got home, sodium chloride was coming out from everywhere. We got here to Canada, we had to deal with the culture shock. Because I didn't know how to read at 14, I went to school. I hid inside the libraries while everyone else was playing. You know, I am from Jamaica, so soccer is our sport. You guys call it, we call it football, you call it soccer. I didn't get a chance to go outside and play. I was hidden inside the library trying to count words, see if I can get through this confusion, see if I can get past this. I see these words, but they don't make any sense, and I don't even know what to do. I'm confused. But as we grow up, right? When I did figure out how to read, my life changed. Not only did my life change, I wanted to learn more. I went on to college, struggled, but I went on to college, graduated from Seneca College with applied science. I was finished here. I said, whoa, I need more. I went and I got a scholarship to go to Southern Arkansas University. I'm like, yes! I drove in my car for 3 days. When I got there, I was locked in a contracture, couldn't move. I just dropped out of the car and rolled on the ground. I was so thankful to be there. Did a dual undergrad in medical science, pre-medical science, and exercise science. I wanted more. After then, I wasn't finished. I went and got a master's in kinesiology. I wasn't even finished. Applied to doctorate school, working a doctorate in physical medicine. As we grow up, you're talking about the guy who went to school, what, 1 day a week? Beaten. Let me reverse and tell you something. I also work with the school districts on mental wellness. And what I tell them is that I said, if you hear my story, you would have no excuse to want to go on with your life. You would have no excuse to want to live this life and make it the best life ever. I tell them that it got so bad when I gotten those beatings from day to day, I wanted to end my own life. I didn't want to take my life. I wanted to end the hurt. I went up to a mountain and I looked off at the mountain and the rocks look up at me and the rock says, jump. I want to tell you the truth, I thought about it. I thought about ending it all. And as we grow up, the pressures of life, they keep shaping you. They're pushing you this way, pushing you that way. And they just cave in on you and you want to quit. I'm here to let you know, don't give up. Don't give in. Why should we not give up? I give you a reason. You see, if I quit, I wouldn't have a beautiful wife from the Nassau Bahamas. If I had quit, I wouldn't be the author of 4 books, and plus some coming. If I had quit, I would have two awesome sons in the world who could read up to 10 books per week. I couldn't even do that in my dreams when I was his age. If I quit, I couldn't touch so many lives. Now I speak to thousands of people. I'm asked to speak at conferences. I just came back from Orlando, Florida, Change Management Conference. There were thousands of people, and I stop and I think to myself, what if I had jumped? What if I had jumped? As we grow up, society tells us we should hate other people. And when we get so confused because we don't know those individuals, we think, maybe I should listen, maybe I should fight, maybe I should kick, maybe I should punch. But when we hate, when we fight, when we kick, when we punch, we're really not hurting the other persons. We are hurting ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. In life, we go through transitions. We have to work our way through life to find out who we really are. We have to fight our way through life to discover our gifts and our talents and our skills and our specialities and find out where they fit. Many of us are in schools today, trying to go through the system, navigating to find out, what was I created to do? But in every step, it's a fight. It's not going to be easy. As you listen to me, I want you to internalize that it doesn't matter how hard the road seems and how high the mountains seems to get. The fight that you have to fight to make it through as you grow up does not require a glove. It may require a jump rope. The jump rope would allow you to overstep those what they call setbacks and turn them into setups. What are setups? Setups position you so that when the opportunity meets your preparation, success is automatic. Now, when I say success is automatic, it doesn't mean that you just run into success. I know this for a fact because I'm also a certified science teacher. I taught in Duval County in Jacksonville, Florida, northeast Jacksonville. And when I got there, you know what they told me in the interview? You've got your work cut out for you. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, you didn't know? As we grow up, labels are formed. You can't, you cannot, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not bright enough. I had a group of children, they call them students, at-risk students. And these kids struggle. They come from the neighborhood that they say are socioeconomically challenging. They look like me. Some look like my palm, but they're all part of the hand. They say, Mr. Guy, we are nobodies. Mr. Guy, we can't do that. Every year they take a test that's called the FCAT, the Florida Comprehensive Test. It's an assessment test, a general test to see where they are. They struggled with it for years. I told them, I said, you're going to pass this test. Not only are you going to pass this test, you're going to put your foot on this test, and you're going to give it the biggest kick you can. They said, Mr. Guy, yeah, we believe you, but no. How are we going to do that? I told them my story. I said, as I grew up, I couldn't read. I couldn't get to go to school as you do. Matter of fact, I didn't even have shoes. I walked barefoot. So when I'm doing martial art, I'm in there with my barefoot. I'm back in my natural habitat, right? I gave them hope. I gave them inspiration. I said, listen, if you quit now, the people that you are supposed to become are world changers. I told them my story. They broke down and they cried. I read to them every afternoon. I let them know. I said, don't quit. You're going through the tunnel. And after every tunnel, there's going to be some light. I said, if I jump, I would not be speaking to you today. I said, if I jump, I wouldn't have sons today. I said, if I jump, I wouldn't be writing books today. I said, you are the future. Another thing that I get an opportunity to do as we grow up, I am also a PD, which is the Professional Development Trainers for Teachers. And one of the things that I try to do is to get teachers to understand that what you're looking at are stem cells. I love stem cells because stem cells can be anything. Anything you want it to be, it can be it. Children are our future. So as we grow up, we need to make sure as adults we inoculate them with the right stuff, with resilience. So with the power to jump over any obstacle that come in their way, with the resilience that when life pushes at them, they pull back and use every setback as an elastic band that will propel them into the future where they're supposed to be. So I'll ask you this question. As we grow up, what do you consider the process to be? A setback, a setup, or a process that leads to a big progress? As you grow up, you are the future you've never met. But if you jump, you too will never meet. Thank you for your time.